This the TempahZone podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, how is everybody doing today, tonight, whatever in the morning, whenever you listen to this podcast right here? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is episode 33 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. And ladies and gentlemen, my special guest today is somebody who is very, very, very good at singing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure you put respect on my homie's name right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Alex Cobra in the building.
Thank you very much.
Man.
Wow, I'll have the $20 for you later.
Yeah.
That was a great introduction. Great at singing, I thought is Frank Ocean.
Got you, man. Yo, dude, when I first heard your first project, man, Attachment Theory, dude, that's when I was like, yo, where did this come from? No, literally the first time I heard it, I was like, yo, I can't believe this is Jake right now, man. Killing this. Alex Cobra in the building.
Thank you.
And when I saw you use that name, I was like, okay, I see where he's trying to go with it. Because a name like that, when I hear somebody named Alex Cobra, I'm expecting something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm expecting something different. Like, obviously, like, a name like that, you could, it sounds like a rapper, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you're in R&B right now, so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I really like what I'm hearing, man. Where did the inspiration and just the passion come from to start singing? Probably goes way back.
Yeah, and actually, it really does. My dad, who didn't know what I was doing today, he was like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm going to Austin." He said, "Whatever." I said, he got me onto Motown. I listened to a lot of Temptations, Four Tops, Sam Cooke. I know he's not in Motown, but oldie soul like that.
Still, man, yeah.
It's always been like that. And then when I was older, I was listening to more of like Earth, Wind and Fire, Tower of Power,
Man.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Yeah. Luther Vandross? Was he in that?
Luther Vandross, yep.
Yeah.
I was just listening to Bad Boy / Having a Party, which is one of my favorites by him.
Okay.
Which is a cover by Sam Cooke. So it comes back to that. And so
man.
I grew up a lot with oldie soul, Motown, 70s, 80s. And I
can totally see that with your style, man. Like,
right,
you definitely have, like, obviously, like, the beats that you're over are modern. Like, you're on that modern time style, but the way you're, like, delivering on it is very 70s, 80s soul vibe. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely of that
I've
cloth.
always wanted that, yeah.
Dude,
so I'm glad someone like you could.
Dude, I spotted that
do
the
that.
first thing when I heard it, man. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like you really in your own lane with this, bro. Because there's not too many people doing like the style you're doing right now. It's a lot. I feel like everyone's trying to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's trying to spit bars,
Yeah,
and everyone thinks they're capable. When it comes to like singing and R&B, that's something that's like, you better, if you do that, like, you better be nice with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't walk into that and like and be bad. Because a lot of people, like, they will attempt rap. Not too many people attempt R&B. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like with what you're doing right now, man, it's definitely something that we need to see more of. Cause
Thank you.
It's really dope. You ever thought about rapping? Because I feel like you definitely have a lot of like inspirations that have come to you from certain artists. So
well, I will say this is gonna sound crazy coming from me. One of my favorite artists of all time is Tupac.
Yeah, man.
I idolize not what he went through, but what he did for music, for hip hop culture.
Yeah, just his overall aura.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and he could also act. I remember seeing Janet Jackson.
Is that movie called Poetic Justice?
Poetic Justice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say. Yeah,
I was just thinking of Mad City too, and I'm like, Poetic Justice.
Yeah,
so.
But the name of the song, yeah.
But yeah, so he really, I remember I was actually I think it was your senior year. I was 2013, 2014. I was listening to a lot more, not what was on the radio. I was buying when I still had my iTunes account, when I'm spending 99 cents on songs. I was listening to Unconditional Love.
Okay.
One of my other favorite songs is he does it with Casey and JoJo.
How Do You Want It?
How do you want it? Yep. And then trying to remember that song, and then I Get Around. That's my favorite song. Is I Get Around.
Dude, you know what my favorite song is by Tupac? Do for Love.
Yes.
Because he samples
I forgot about that. Wow.
Dude, honestly, like, when I listen to that Do For Love, man,
Yeah.
I had to go and find the old school song, man. I
By
forget
Bobby Caldwell, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah,
Like,
and what's funny, so Khalid, who was another guy I look up to.
Yo, Khalid.
Not DJ Khaled for all those out there. No, no.
Yo. There's so much with DJ Khaled right now,
Yeah.
man.
But with Khalid, his song Reasons, if you have, I think either you have it on real loud or if you have headphones on, the opening for probably the first 10, 15 seconds is the slowed down version of
Bobby Caldwell?
Yeah, of
Okay.
Bobby Caldwell, and I think also a little bit of the actual Tupac one with the hi-hat. You hear a little hi-hat in the back.
Got you.
And so I was like, wow, so Khalid is another guy I look up to. Got to go with Frank. Got to go with The Weeknd.
Yeah, man.
Trying to remember.
I'm a big Weeknd fan, bro.
Weeknd.
Oh my God.
Dude.
What's your favorite album by him?
Favorite album? Well, I'd say it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I was a sophomore and I was still at UMaine, and Starboy came out.
Oh, okay.
And when
I
Starboy,
thought Starboy had some good stuff on there.
yeah,
man. I thought
Sidewalks.
There's wow, man.
What is it?
There's a lot of good tracks on there.
I'm saying my favorite album. I don't even know.
Yeah,
half the
I know,
songs.
right? Reminder is really good.
Oh yeah. With Future. No, what was the one with Future? I'm trying to remember.
There's All My Life.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's the name of it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Daft Punk. I Feel It Coming.
Yeah, dude, I feel it coming, yo. That song, yeah, dude.
Wow, and especially like, I never saw Daft Punk and Pharrell. That was a dream matchup I wanted was for them to do a song, and Get Lucky's a great song.
Get Lucky is that song's going nowhere. That song's gonna stay a hit, bro.
Yeah,
like, always. Like.
And and then to see Daft Punk and The Weeknd get together, I was like, wow, that's actually a really good collaboration, right
yeah,
there.
Man.
Because they Daft Punk in any genre they could work with. And to do, I think they did 2 songs with The Weeknd on Starboy.
Yeah.
I love that. I thought, wow, that's so great. And then, when they do I Feel It Coming in their voice, I was like, all right, this actually slaps. I like this.
Yeah, dude, they work well together, and I think they should.
Yeah.
I think they should do more stuff, but I think they're gonna just leave that in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we did that, and we're gonna leave it here. Like, if they ever do something again, it'll be years from now.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
You don't want to go to the well too much and then it dries.
Exactly.
So,
and that's a lot of thing. Like, a lot of artists gotta realize out here is sometimes certain ideas that you have, you just gotta let it be something else, and then just move on to something new. You know what I mean? Because as artists, man, we change the style that we do once a year. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like every year I'm thinking of new types of music to make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even for instance, man, I'm on more some melodies right now, you know what I'm saying, with the new music I'm trying to put out.
Yeah.
You told me 3 years ago or 2 years ago I'd be doing the music I'm doing now, I would laugh at you. You know what I mean? I'd be like, no, but it's really important out here for artists to evolve and really figure out their sound.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about that, man. How do you feel you are making sure you evolve your sound and work on it and get better and better? What steps do you take to make that happen?
That's a really good question, actually. I was told there was not going to be an interrogation tonight, sir.
Yeah, right? I'm trying to get in the mind of Alex Cobra, man.
I'm waiting for the bad cop to come in with a cigar and put it on my hand.
Yeah, yeah, right?
I honestly, around 2000, it was right after my sophomore year, I went through a lot of, can I swear on this?
Yes.
I went through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go too far.
Oh, no, we can swear on it. You're good,
so
you're good.
I just go on 2 hours of just
yeah.
I went through a lot of shit that year, and nothing that was I was in trouble, but mentally and platonically with friends, stuff went downhill. I was an RA up there, and so a lot of lonely nights being on duty, not having to go home because I was 5 hours away.
Yeah.
So around that summer after 2017, I was sitting at home and my friends were at Boston Calling. And they were wondering if they could stay the night so they didn't have to go back up. I said, yeah, no, come on by.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
And shout out David and Jess.
Shout out to them,
as I was waiting for them, I started writing the song to a beat online on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I always thought to myself, like you, if you were to told me 2 years ago, oh, you're gonna write a bunch of songs, I would have been like, yeah, okay, see ya.
Yeah, about that.
I guess I never had that application in myself. I never told myself, no, you could write. You just got to find the time. You got to find your actual beat to the song, so you're not going off script.
Yeah, for sure.
And sure enough, my first song came out, "Cloud with a Chance of Heartbreak." So
I remember that one. Yeah.
doing that, my friend Greg, my friend Give, he, honest to God, has the best feature verse on like an R&B type song I've ever heard in my life. Like, put it up against anything you hear now, what's been out of rapper R&B connections.
Yeah,
that song
he
to
did
me
it right there. Yeah.
is the apex. I swear to God.
Hell yeah, man. That's dope. That's dope.
So when "Cloudy with a Chance of Heartbreak" came out, we probably had we recorded it in summer of 2017. Released it like New Year's 2018.
Okay.
So between that time, at first I only thought, I'll just make a few songs, see what happens. Attachment Theory was born. I had so many different songs written. I guess I just had like the bug. I was just like, oh, let's keep writing, And I hope I haven't lost that. I was writing some stuff yesterday, but
that's good, man. That's good to hear,
yeah.
bro. Like, when it comes to writing music, I think a lot of people out here, when you look at a lot of these artists out here, take Lil Wayne for example. He lives in the studio, so he's able to pump out a ton of music and keep writing songs.
Yeah.
But like artists like us, we're not in the studio all the time, so you definitely want to make sure the songs you write are calculated. But it's also not a problem to have a couple of bad songs that you have. Because that's trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Not every song you write is going to be
a
smash hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to trial and error, man. Make mistakes. It's all good.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of tracks that will never see the light of day.
I do.
Yeah,
that's the bad part. I'm like, I'll just release them. Who cares?
Yeah. And the thing, and see, it's funny. The thing about doing that, too, is that can work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you could have a song that you don't really mess with.
And people are like,
and then
yo.
you put it out there and they're like, yo, this is fire, you know what I'm saying? So that's that's just one of those things. And like, for me, like what I usually do, I always make sure to show all my stuff to everybody.
Yeah.
Just to see if I'm tripping, Because like, oh, all these people like this song, I don't. Oh shoot! Like I guess this is the one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Guess we gotta go with that. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah.
But
you got to workshop with people. You got to see what they like. And yeah, a lot of them could be your friends and family. Like, oh no, really nice try. But you just got to throw it out there, because if they are your closest people, if they think they're agreeing with you, like maybe work on it, then why send it to the masses? Why try and do that? Unless, like you said, the public accepts it.
Exactly.
So, like you said, trial and error. I've had a few songs. One of my least favorite songs I've ever done is called Beach Feelings.
Beach Feelings.
It's off Nantasket. It's the first song. It's not the lyrics. It's the tone that it was in. I guess the pitch was off for me, but I thought it was good. But it has like over 400 plays. But I think it's because it's the first song. So every time
the first song usually gets the most plays.
But yeah, so songs like Beach Feelings, and I guess another song out there would be the actual Attachment Theory song, which is the final song off it. We were supposed to have another verse from Give.
Okay.
We recorded it, but I just said, nah, we'll just see. We'll maybe release it at a later time. Still hasn't seen the light of day, but his verse makes it better. With it just me, it sucks. With him, it's better because he can make or break a song, and he makes it every time. I love the stuff we've done together.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
Yeah. How many songs have you guys had together?
Collaborating like behind the scenes, every song, but we've done 3 songs. We've done Cloudy with a Chance of Heartbreak, Boardwalk, and Superstar BG.
Nice.
I'd say out of the 3,
I heard Superstar BG. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's like one of my favorite songs with him, because
that one's good, man.
Boardwalk is a great like lo-fi kind of beat song, and he adds a great verse. I'm only in like the first 20 seconds, but it's gold, because it's like he with his own track, he can really speak and spit. And so I really enjoyed that. But Superstar BG, I'd say now is one of my favorites, because it meshes so well. The rhymes that he brings in, the lyrics that he has, like he mentions Ric Flair.
Yeah.
The whole song Superstar BG is Superstar Billy Graham. It's a wrestling reference.
Oh,
So
see, I was literally about to ask you. I was like, Superstar BG.
yeah.
Yeah, elaborate. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
elaborate on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I was
And
like,
and even like, wrestling fans have been watching since maybe the late 90s. They probably don't even know Superstar Billy Graham.
yeah.
He was from back in the 70s.
Really?
He was like Hulk Hogan before Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had a little bit of, some bad times. He's been, recently he sold his Hall of Fame ring for his medical stuff, which I can understand. But he told Kofi Kingston, who is the current WWE champion, that
really?
he should use steroids.
Well, he told him that? Jesus.
Billy is the same guy who did steroids and became sterile and could not have kids. And I'm not saying anything bad about Billy. He made a lot of money wrestling.
You're right, yeah.
But
still.
there's some issues with him that I don't like. But his promos were fantastic.
Yeah. I gotta watch some of this guy.
Yeah. We found some of our promo stuff we found on YouTube and we brought in.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 70s, it wasn't like wrestling today, where it's all on Twitter and Snapchat
and it's
and
super
all this.
fancy, you know what I mean?
When you cut a promo, you did it either at the arena, or if you were down south in like Jim Crockett Promotions at a studio, TBS.
Oh, got you.
So with Billy Graham cutting a promo, people would listen because they haven't heard him speak since that last event, or it was your first time there. So his promos,
there's more mystery behind it, man. That's because without social media, it's like
imagine
him
today. Imagine today, it would be a bit oversaturated.
The allure wouldn't be there.
Exactly.
Because you would have heard from him more often.
Exactly. And Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and a bunch of other guys, they've said, we stole or we took little bits of it from Billy Graham because he was the guy that brought the term superstar. So, and that concludes my wrestling obsession quote there. But that's what I took the song from.
Yeah, that's dope though, man. But like getting that influence from wrestling, like Wale is another artist who has, he's really into wrestling.
That's the guy I want to meet right now.
Yeah, and he has a lot of ties with him, man. Like I know he does like Wale Mania and stuff like that too, man. But like a lot of artists, like I feel like wrestling and like SpongeBob references and Great Poupon. These are like the things. I say Great Poupon, but like these are like things you hear like hip hop a lot, and people have talked about it. Like Genius has made like reports about how like these things are mentioned in hip hop a lot. Wrestling's one of those things like you
anime too.
Yeah, anime is definitely another one that's big in there too, man. But like wrestling, like I mean, like you got like Offset with Ric Flair drip. You know what I'm saying? Like
Guilty Pleasure. That's one of my favorite music videos because of Rick.
Yeah, because Ric Flair's
he's in his robe. He's doing his strut. He's doing everything. And now Migos can say we did a song with Ric Flair.
And then they got Ric Flair.
Not a lot of people can say that.
No, that's a boss move right there, man.
Yeah.
Dude, have you watched the 30 for 30 Ric Flair documentary?
Yes, I watched that, and I think they did another one.
Bro.
Or they did a 30 for 30 on Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, one of my other favorites. But yeah, the Ric Flair one was
I did not know he was a savage, man.
Yeah,
that dude lived a life, bro.
He lived it, and he's still paying for it. I feel bad.
Yeah, you're right. But like, barring that, like just like when he was like in his prime, man, like Jesus. And he would just clock his head and like bleed just because
he could just take off his shirt and say what's causing all this.
Yeah.
And girls would be like fall over.
The ladies loved Ric Flair, man.
And I said, it was that time too. It was, mid to late 80s. You could cut a promo and then you're wrestling that night, you could still do it. He was the king of the world as a wrestler. And everyone says, well, the WWE had more exposure because they were nationwide. Well, NWA, WCW had the same thing. They had TBS. That's a national thing.
Yeah,
so
it's huge.
I've heard a few people say, well, Ric Flair was only hot when he was just doing WCW in the late 90s or the mid 90s. No,
WCW, man.
There would be no WCW if it wasn't for Rick in the 80s. There would be none of that in the late 90s.
Okay, yeah.
He really, I give him a ton more credit. Some of his personal life, I don't really. I've heard in rumors that he's used the N-word a lot, like not just. Yeah, I know. I was like, I always, because he's always been the man of the people. Everyone loves him.
Of course, man.
Migos, Bill Burr, a bunch of people love him.
For
but
sure.
to hear that kind of makes me a bit sad. and he could say, well, that was what the time was. Doesn't matter. The fact
It's still
that
wrong, man. Yeah.
if it was recorded, it's only been through word of mouth that people have said, oh, he's done this.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, okay, if it was someone got a camera angle of him saying that, then I'd be like, all right, Rick, I'm sorry, but you don't seem at like conventions.
No.
Well, even I've heard at conventions he could be a bit wicked to people. Like he just like ignores people and will only be on camera. Like
I'm not surprised by that, man.
Yeah, but he's in his fucking like late 70s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's an old dude. You know what I'm saying?
Leave him like
he's had like health issues as well. You know what I'm saying, man?
So, but I respect Rick as like I know him.
Yeah, right.
Rick, I hope you're doing well. I'll see you next week in Charlotte.
Yeah, right. I'll see you there.
we'll have nice, we'll have some beer. What do you know?
Yeah, right.
So, but
I wonder if he's still drinking, man. He
think
probably cut off all the crazy shit he was doing, man.
I think he cut it off because
I don't know if his health can handle that no more. Yo.
Yeah, he almost died last SummerSlam.
I was gonna mention, I
guess he went into a coma.
Yeah, dude.
Ugh.
Crazy, man.
But his daughter's doing well, Charlotte, as a wrestler. So.
Oh, his daughter's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that from the. Yes, I remember that. Okay,
his son Reed, which I feel bad, the one that passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been a great wrestler too. He did a lot of work in New Japan, the Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
And it just he had some issues himself, and he paid for it, and Rick is still dealing with that loss. And
dealing with that.
I can understand. It's his son.
Yeah.
Luckily, Charlotte, and he has another son, David, from another marriage. I think he has like 2 or 3, and he has a stepson.
Wow.
He loves them immensely, and they love him too. But he's had like 17 wives. He's 16-time world champion, 17-time husband. Like,
yeah, right.
So many different
times.
things. So,
dude, that says everything about the life he was living, man. When you see that, yo.
and the limousines. I think it was Sergio Brown who was still in the Colts at the time.
Yeah.
It was right around when we won our 4th championship, by the way, the New England Patriots.
The 4th one.
And Sergio Brown, they had a locker room angle of him doing Ric Flair, and it's like, limousine ride.
Yeah.
Jet flying, wheeling dealing, son of a gun.
Yeah.
Like, that's Rick, and he transcended it.
That's classic, though.
Yeah.
Classic Ric Flair quote right there, man. Obviously, woo!
Oh, yeah.
Pusha T.
Whew.
That's basically like he acknowledges that, that's rare, nigga. Ric Flair, nigga. That was in my head. Like he lets it be known,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some indie band who only listened to Led Zeppelin mentions Ric Flair in a song. Like,
you just got him, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've tried to do a lot of. I haven't gone over the top with wrestling references because I don't want to ruin my image as just some.
If you get the big guys, if you make something about Stone Cold, mention The Rock,
but
a Triple H, like those are big names, man.
If I mention Triple H, I'll get sued.
Yeah. Doesn't he own is he like ownership with the WWE?
He has. I mean, he married into the family, yes, but it wasn't because of that.
Yeah.
He's COO, I forget, Command Operating Officer, but he's also head of NXT, which is their developmental brand, which is on par with, like, it's even better than what's on Monday and Tuesday nights, as they all say, because there's more wrestling.
SmackDown on Tuesday?
Yep, it's Monday Night Raw, and then
I always remember it on Friday, man.
That was my show when I was a kid.
I remember that on Friday, man.
I'd have either McDonald's or Burger King.
Yeah.
Like around 6 or 7 o'clock, and then boom, 8 o'clock, Friday Night SmackDown on either WB and then it was on like UPN and a bunch of other stations.
UPN, yeah.
I'd be watching.
That's throwback, man. Yeah. I forgot about UPN, man.
Yeah, and then they sold out to USA again.
Mm-hmm. Another guy, I'll never forget one of the clips from wrestling where it's Vince McMahon walks up to John Cena and he's just like, keep it up, my nigga. And then he walks away. And Booker T's right there. Tell me.
I didn't just see that. Yeah. Booker T's another guy that I respect.
Five times.
Yeah, like he should have been like 9-time. He was fantastic.
Yeah, Booker T was the man, yo.
But
Booker T was cool, yo.
For me at least, I've always thought to myself, I'm a person first, I'm a wrestling fan second, I'm a singer third. Now I'd like to say I'm a wrestling fan, singer, person first.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to make sure that I'm not cringing. I'm not making people who are listening hear like a John Cena reference and go, ugh. ugh, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be something where it's like, you know, like you said, you're like, who's superstar Billy Graham, and you're like,
That's better.
hopefully when you see it, you're like, wow,
because it's not as big of a name. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? It's like, yeah, of course you know who John Cena is.
Of course you know Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
All them, but one of my other songs, Diamond Cutter.
Okay.
It's the finishing move of Diamond Dallas Page, DDP, and it's kind of like the RKO.
Okay.
But it's not like that where he jumps.
Yeah.
He literally just grabs the person and then does it.
Okay.
And so when I was trying to find the name for the song, in it, one of his signature phrases was bang. So in Diamond Cutter.
How old, like way back does he go?
He like Attitude Era, like late 90s. He was like around the Goldberg, NWO era. He was like their only big homegrown
I used to
guy.
fuck with Goldberg.
Oh yeah.
His entrance walking in took like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Then he had 2 minutes of a match, and they're like,
yeah, right.
that's our guy.
What's his move? The spear? Is that his?
It was the spear and the jackhammer, and I mean, like you said, at the time, it was all about the entrance. It was about the words and the promos and stuff.
Yeah.
Goldberg was a star because of he looked, you know, he was a former football player.
Yeah, he's a
and
big
he had
dude. Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
MMA stuff. If he were to train maybe a little bit more, yeah, maybe he would have, instead of just, it's just the spear and the jackhammer, maybe he could have gone like 20 minutes with like Stone Cold Steve Austin. But it didn't work out that way. Speaking of which, WWE and Saudi Arabia signed like a 10-year deal recently.
Really?
Yeah.
What for? What did they sign?
To do events out in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, do a Saudi, yeah.
And they've done a few. Last year they did at least 2, yeah. Greatest Royal Rumble, yeah.
That's when you know, man. I mean, wrestling. I mean, WWE's worldwide, man. It doesn't get bigger than that in terms of wrestling. You know?
Yeah, and they're getting paid. Hey, Vince, he smells the money. Of course, he's gonna take it. But a lot of wrestlers, you know, obviously their women's wrestling is better than what it used to be. Like, it's actual women's wrestling, which I love.
Back then, it was like
exactly.
This ain't wrestling,
bra and
man.
panties matches.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
20th time, yeah.
Dude. Oh man.
Well, but then again, little 12-year-old me is like, wow.
Yeah, I know, right? They know what they're doing. It's like 90% of the people watching this are dudes. So like,
might as well.
We're gonna capitalize on this. It's gonna work. You know what I mean? But now it's like they're really like focusing on the wrestling a lot. More, which is good. That's good that they're taking it like that, man.
Yeah, it's especially in today's day and age, it's it's equality, and
you have to, man.
And a lot of the female wrestlers from at least 10 years ago. Recently, Ashley Massaro, she killed herself. She had a lot going on.
I feel like I might have heard about that.
Yeah,
that story sounds familiar, yo.
And there's been so many deaths in the wrestling business, but that one for me, a lot of people are like, oh, she was just hot or she was hot in the business.
Yeah.
Popular because she was around the time when you could put anyone on TV and they'd be a star.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wasn't the case. She was really trying to make a comeback. Turns out, I guess, when they were in either Afghanistan or something, she was sexually assaulted. And when she was going on about it, Vince said, listen, don't say anything. We have such a good agreement with the United States government.
Jesus, man.
So now it's coming to bite him back in the ass. And I'm glad it is because, as much as I respect Vince for what he's done in the business, and if I'm ever on WWE program, I'm probably going to get, hit because
you say
said that. I heard what you said back
man,
on TempahZone.
It's public information. It's already out there. Just let it be known. You know what I mean?
Going back,
it don't matter.
They signed, this 10 or 11-year deal, where all the matches feature men. No women's wrestling because obviously of what goes on. How women are viewed by the Saudi Arabian public.
That's messed up, man.
The women are missing out on this money that they could be performing on. Meanwhile, Goldberg comes back, probably gets, who knows, $50 million for this match. He and Undertaker had probably the worst match I've ever seen in my life.
Dang.
It wasn't even like 10 minutes, but that's how a Goldberg match goes. It's like 5 minutes.
That's how they're usually quick.
But Undertaker himself, he's in his 50s. He's barely.
I was gonna say, man, he's still in it. Yo, that's crazy.
Everyone thought, okay, Undertaker should just be done.
Yeah.
He can make appearances. That'll be fine.
Yeah, he can just do that. He doesn't have to be a consistent member in the roster.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
He has so much. Excuse me. He has so much. Loyalty to Vince that
man.
Vince could say, hey, can you come on stage and do, a rap battle with John Cena? He'd be like, yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah. I'll rap battle with John.
Put the money in the bank and we'll be fine. But they had a bad match. I guess Undertaker got banged up and Goldberg got a concussion.
It was just
Next thing we know, all the wrestling like rumor barrels are saying like, oh, Undertaker and Goldberg are in a shouting match after the match. Hey, that's the breaks.
So they like actually were pissed off each other after the
Yeah,
match?
I guess it was how bad they performed.
God
I guess
damn.
they just couldn't mesh.
That's weird. Yeah, you think that they have like better, choreographed it better, like like those two big names. You think they would do something better like that?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. Like obviously like they're not really like beating each other's asses in the ring,
Yeah.
But like you would think like they would be able to figure out some way to make that happen. Like they're professional wrestlers, You would think they'd be able to make the fight somewhat entertaining. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's kind of like crazy that they couldn't make that happen. Two big names like that, like I'm expecting something dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if you're performing in a an arena as big as I forget where they are. It's a big arena. It's probably 10 times the size of any arena. And I was at MetLife this past
for WrestleMania.
April. 35 was my first. It was my second pay-per-view. I went to SummerSlam back in Brooklyn in August with my buddies, and then there were 4 of us for SummerSlam, and then there were 3 of us, the same guys. Our other friend couldn't make it.
That must have been crazy.
Oh yeah, we were in Philadelphia. My friend went to Temple.
Okay.
He just graduated this year, and we were talking at least like, hey, WrestleMania is in New Jersey. It's at MetLife. Let's go.
Yeah, let's send that, yo.
As soon as SummerSlam ended, we were like, yeah, let's do it. And then it sort of died out along the holidays. February comes around, and I'm like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And, we all
who's
we
coming?
Managed. Yeah, seriously. And I had, I had a way of getting the tickets, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Sure enough, we did it, and we went, and we were like the last seat before they carted off the rest. Like we were at the top. And watching everything.
Don't matter. You still there though. You still there for a dope live event, man.
And
still there for a good time.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania.
It's
like,
seriously.
That's like the biggest event WWE does.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling, and they had, seeing moments like Kofi Kingston becoming the actual first, like African American to win the WWE title. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's half Samoan, half African American.
Yeah.
You could make that case, but Kofi Kingston winning that was such a great moment.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
and
just
he's one of the newer guys. The Rock's, he's been in it for
exactly.
so long.
And Kofi had been killing himself in the mid card and the lower versions of the matches. He's been a 20-time tag team champion. He could really go in the ring.
For sure, yeah.
To see a short time period of him in like February to then April being on par with Daniel Bryan, everyone was behind it. And even I was like, even the promo that he cut the week before, he was like, I'm going to win it. I said, all right, there better not be some fucking shenanigans happening in this match.
No way.
I want Kofi to win.
Yeah.
Sure enough, he did. And
I bet the place went crazy.
I had to rewatch it just to see, like, was it that loud? Because at the arena, everyone was happy when he won it. And that was my favorite moment out of WrestleMania. That and seeing like Triple H and Batista go at it, like 2 of my favorites going at it. Boom.
Dang. Batista's still wrestling?
He retired after that match.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like just all in on acting, like only.
No, I guess he just said he was like, I want to do one more match to end my career. Okay. And of course, his friend and mentor is Triple H, and Triple H is always looking for someone to wrestle at Mania, so they did it. But seeing Kofi win it, seeing Hulk Hogan, which we didn't expect to see,
that's crazy.
And the tag team match, there was a fatal 4-way tag team match, and Ricochet, who is, my God, the most athletic and high flying guy I've ever seen. You could say Rey Mysterio. Ricochet, he's like 6 foot. He could
do all the same moves as Rey Mysterio, but
he could do like 10 flips in one sequence,
jump,
and I'm like, my God, just seeing it from sniper shot away.
And that's another thing, bro, that a lot of people don't say about wrestling. Like a lot of people just cut it off, and they're like, yo, like they're not really fighting. It's like, dog, do you see what they're doing? Have you seen some of the stuff these guys are doing? Like, I remember Shane McMahon jumping off like 40 feet into a table. I'm like, yo, this dude is a crazy man, yo.
And he doesn't even have to take those kind of bumps. He's the son of the promoter.
Yeah, right.
He's worth $1 million.
But he's just about it.
He's out there and he's taking bumps, and he's trained too. He's like professionally trained. I wouldn't say he's a Kurt Angle, but him and Kurt went at it. King of the Ring 2001. My God.
A while back.
Though, have you ever seen it when him getting thrown through the glass?
I remember that how it was set up.
Yeah.
I don't remember that event. Yeah.
It was real glass. It was supposed to be sugarcane, where it was like stunt glass.
Yeah.
Nope, it was real glass. He
Jesus.
gets thrown into it once, doesn't hit. It falls on his head, breaks it. I guess someone's here. I don't know.
Okay. I think I know who's here. Yeah.
Gotcha.
What's good, man? Yeah, we doing the episode real quick. We almost done though, man. Word.
So,
yeah, that's my homie right there. Yeah, we're gonna get something on there. But yo, before we wrap this up though, I gotta ask you one more question, man. You got your new single out here, Creative Control.
Right, yeah.
I was just bumping that.
After the 20 minutes we did of wrestling, we can
Dude,
try and get back to music.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's no biggie though, man. Like I haven't talked about wrestling a bit, so we had to talk about that, man. Because I know how much you're into it, man. I know, like it bleeds into your music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not music, but it bleeds through. So like, definitely gotta talk about. But Creative Control, man. What was the purpose behind that track right there?
Creative Control, it's in its essence. I can say it now, no shame. I've never been in a relationship, never had that kind of intimacy with a woman, and it's no mistake there. I mean, I've always made an idiot of myself, and
someday, man, you ain't got to bug out about those things, man.
2 weeks later, I'm gonna be out with Kate Beckinsale for some reason. Sorry, Pete. But yeah, I just I was making this song, and I wanted to call it something like Bash at the Beach because it had to do a lot of what it had to do with like Hulk Hogan and Vince Russo and their like little tiff taff. For any fans who know what I'm talking about. But creative control is, a lot of the wrestlers back in the day had creative control. That's how WCW had so many guys. Because they could just say, well, I don't want to do that on the show, but I'll do that. Like, they have the control. Nowadays, it's like, you go out and do this. Okay, no problem.
Just like that.
So the lyric, you took what's more than you deserve, it's sort of like you said, the wrestling bleeds into my music.
For sure, man. Yeah.
It's one passion going with another.
That's dope, bro. That's really dope.
And a lot, I've always said to myself, like, man, like, honestly, I was kind of hoping we wouldn't talk about wrestling, but it's just so hard to hide away. It's so hard to hide from.
It don't matter one bit, yo.
I was thinking we talk about, politics and what's happening, but no.
We ain't talking about politics on this podcast.
It's a TempahZone podcast. You don't want to be snoring.
Yeah, right? So, we ain't talking about it.
But yeah.
If this podcast ever gets into politics, man, things have changed a lot with your boy. That's all I'll say.
I'll be honest. I'll block you on Instagram.
Yeah. And I'd be like, that's okay.
But
I understand where you're coming from.
Creative Control, it's one of my latest songs. I wouldn't say it's my, final song until next year. We're in the process of maybe a potential resurgence of Alex Cobra.
Okay.
I'm just trying to my friend Greg, my friend Ethan, who's always
team,
been a supporter. I want to do as much as I can before maybe even doing my first ever studio session, like an actual in studio. But I got to get the money for that. I'm unemployed at the moment. But luckily, this song to me is a really good way of opening the summer up because
it's got a good vibe to it, man.
Thank you.
It's got a really good vibe to it. I was listening to that on the way here, yo. Like, and I was just like, dude, like, man, I want another project from you, man. I really do.
I'm hoping that as well.
Hell yeah, man.
If a third project's in the way, it could be the conclusion of a certain arc. For how I've seen it is my opening career is just making as much songs as I can that have to do with what's been on my mind lately.
Yeah.
A lot of it has, a lot of songs. I remember my friend Ethan, he says, you make too many depressing songs. Can't you make like, I've had a few like Club Flow is
insane.
One of my favorites too.
Yeah, that's a crazy track right there, bro, man. I'm gonna bump that after this. I'm serious.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I remember when you were asking me like if I could ever rap, I remember when I was writing that song and I was like,
do I rap on this one?
That sounds too rappy, but it also sounds like, remember when you were like 10 years old and you're looking in the mirror and you're going like, I'm the best.
You just spitting whatever, yeah.
And then, your sister or someone's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck was
What's
that?
going on? Yeah.
Yeah, but, I and my friend Greg, love him to death. He looks at me and he goes, yeah, I don't see you being a rapper. And if you ever try to, we're not friends.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if I can support that.
But I could slow it down or add it up where it is me singing, but it's just a bit sped up. So you could probably call that rap. But I do not see myself as a rapper. If I ever do, it's an alternate reality.
Yeah.
It's Earth 2.
Yeah, it's in a different spectrum. But
yeah, creative control. I'm really, really proud of. I think that for me, I've evolved as a songwriter. I could say that, and I think I still.
And I
evolved.
can tell in this one, man. I feel like I can see the growth because I remember you sending me that first project you worked on, and that's amazing, and the other projects really dope. But I feel like with this song, I could, I can tell the honesty in it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And we need more of that in music right now. We need more people being honest, telling the truth, and stop lying your songs.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's why I mess with your music, bro, because I can tell you being real with them. You're not shying away.
Thank you.
And I'm serious, bro. You really got to see that as a big deal and understand that not too many people in this world can be honest and just make dope shit and talk about the things they like to talk about. They just want to do the same thing Lil Pump trying to do, and I'm not discrediting Lil Pump, like he's got his fan base,
Yeah.
But
well,
that lifestyle, he lives that lifestyle where he can spend all that money and he gets all these girls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they talk about it and they don't live it. So
and
I commend you for doing that, man.
Thank you.
Real.
We could go another 30 minutes.
Oh,
I'm not a big
just that,
fan of mumble rap. I mean, I've messed with
some
Lil
of it's
Yachty.
good though, and some of it's good. Like
exactly.
When it plays at the club, I ain't gonna have no problem with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly, but
there's a time and place. There's a time and place.
I'm worried within the next 15, 20 years of whatever rappers come after being like, yeah, my big influences are Lil Yachty. Young Thug. I mean, Young Thug's different, but
Young Thug's very he's unique and he's
which
great,
is why I'm so glad guys like Kendrick, J. Cole,
Gambino,
even The Game,
Chance, The Game,
I mean, Chance could mess with those kind of styles, but like acid rap, you could tell he's the forefront of a new generation, and I'm hoping there are a lot more rappers like that because I get a lot of my beats that I'll look up on YouTube, free beats, so we don't get any copyright information.
Right.
Free Chance the Rapper type beat, free Kendrick Lamar type beat, even Tyler the Creator,
and it'd be some dope type beats out there, man.
Oh yeah, and
a lot to choose from.
And I'm trying to where I don't have to rely on that. I would like to make my own beats someday, maybe be a dual threat.
Yeah.
But it's so tough because I've never learned to play guitar. I've never learned to play piano. So I remember working with this free program on my laptop, and I couldn't even do something simple like dun dun dun. It just sounded so dumb. So I gotta go to school for that. Teach myself. But like you said, evolution. You gotta just keep. You gotta keep trial and error.
Trial and error, bro.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you gotta make sure, man. Eventually, you'll figure it out and getting your sound. Obviously, you definitely have your own sound, but there's still more to work on. There's always still more to work on. You always can find a way to improve and get better and just really push your limits, yo.
Thank you.
That's all facts, man. Keep doing your thing, bro. I'm always gonna be supporting you, man. Where can the people find you, yo? Where can the people follow you?
People can find me at Alex Cobra YCE on Instagram, just one word.
For sure.
On Twitter, I believe I'm Alex Cobra _YCE. I have Facebook Alex Cobra and also on SoundCloud Alex Cobra. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for SoundCloud.
Right. So shout out to SoundCloud, man.
But but you can also, just another shameless plug. I did actually make some acoustic stuff with my friend.
Okay. Where's that at?
A friend. Haven't talked to him in a long time.
We made music. Yeah. Y'all made music.
My acquaintance, yeah.
Yeah.
I was on Bandcamp, where every,
Yeah, Bandcamp's another good one, man.
Great one. And I did that, and you can find me on, it's thelastoutlaw.bandcamp.com. That was one of my monikers I tried to make up, because I'm a big fan of Westerns, so.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Last Outlaw.
So,
but yeah, you can find me on there if you want to hear, cover. I just did a bunch of covers. Cobra Covers is one of my favorite, original mixtapes that I did, because I was doing Jim Croce, James Taylor, Anderson .Paak.
Ooh.
And then the final song, which look at me, I'm getting hyped about it, was a mix of Stand Tall by Childish Gambino and Note to Self by J. Cole. It was just sort of, just like the opening part where it's like, and wherever we go.
Yeah.
So just so people can understand that I can actually sing and this isn't, a job.
Oh, you can say, man. You don't got to prove nothing to nobody, man.
So when do we go on? When do we start recording?
We want to
The
start
podcast. I thought this was just us.
Oh yeah. We haven't started recording yet. We gotta start right now. Yeah, we haven't started yet.
I try and put that humor in so I can make just so people are like, oh, this kid's funny. Let's
Yeah, we like this guy. I'll check out his music. But don't worry, man. They're gonna check out your music.
Thank you very much, Amir Max. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 33 of the TempahZone podcast. Shout out to PRX Podcast Garage for the high quality sounds.
This is fantastic.
Once again, that's a great spot right here, man. It really is, man. Until next time, y'all. Peace.